Welcome back, everyone. Financial Forecaster here, and today we're going to be talking about the benefits of renting versus the benefits of homeowning. Because today I was faced with the choice of eviction, and it's unfortunately something that's going to happen in my future, so I'm going to have to make a plan for it right away. This happened yesterday, so I'm already planning it for today, even though I have months and months to go. The worst thing you can ever do about your living situation or about your money is procrastinate. So let's get into it, guys. Financial Forecaster, we're just going to talk about my opinions on renting versus buying, what to do, especially if you're in Ontario. But anywhere in North America, we've seen house prices skyrocket since last March. So if you're ready, hit that like and subscribe, especially if you're watching this video and you're trying to decide whether to rent or buy. I'm in the same boat as you. So let's go, Financial Forecaster. Let's get it. All right, so I'm a millennial. And you guys, if you're watching this and you're a millennial, you've known the pain of home ownership has always been held above our heads. Our parents had it easy. The next generation we know is going to have it even harder than us. But right now, the millennials are jumping into the market. Interest rates are so low, but supply and demand are really, really out of whack right now. So because of that, you're getting places like Ontario where things are going hundreds of $1,000s over asking. There's bidding wars everywhere you look, and it is a nightmare. Now, I have been put in the position where I am being evicted from my place, which is unfortunate to say the least. I was getting a very good rent here, but I have to look in this very pricey area for a new apartment. It is not the worst thing in the world because I have my emergency fund intact. If you don't have that emergency fund intact, make sure you always have 6 months. I'm just telling you, it will come a time where that will make you feel much safer and it will help you stay stable and plan. But I don't have to worry about that because I have that intact. Now, I've always wanted to buy a house. Every millennial wants to buy a house, but it's been completely unattainable. Now I'm being put in a position where do I either pay very high rent for an apartment building in the area I am, buy a condo that's probably 20% over market value right now, but I don't have to drive, which I would save a lot of my money and I could stay local, or do I move to another town and I buy a slightly cheaper house and I drive to work, which would probably eat up any of the savings I got from the condo. I've been wanting this forever. But then you start taking into the costs. Now, let's say I'm buying a $400,000 house. I've been advised by a financial advisor that 10% down is probably the best scenario. At these interest rates, you want to take advantage of the low interest rates. You're not paying a lot of interest for the first 5 years. You can always renegotiate, but 10% is probably the best. You still have to pay CHMC insurance. You still have to do land transfer tax. You're going to have to pay land tax. I cannot stress this enough. Buying a house is a great idea, but it is very expensive. All my life, buy a house. Renting's gonna eat up all your money. You're not gaining any equity. Well, you know what? I've lived in this apartment for 4 years now, paid bare bones rent, and put all that extra money into the market. And the amount of money I've made on the market has beaten the return for the house. Now, I'm in a unstable living situation because I'm not my own landlord, and that is something that buying a house can afford you, but you will pay for it. So we just touched on one of the parts of buying a rental. If you can get a good enough rent and you are investing diligently, you're budgeting your money, and as you're putting your extra money that you would be spending on a mortgage into the stock market, into bonds, into other real estate, something that will appreciate the same as a house will, renting can be a great option for a lot of people, especially people that are still in their 20s or even in their early 30s. Renting is a completely viable option. So I want to stress this. If you guys are watching this, buying a $400,000 house is something I'm going to be looking around for. I want to spend about $40,000 down, but then just because you're putting $40,000 down, you're paying $1,000 for your lawyer, you're paying a couple thousand for land transfer tax, then you're going to be paying $4,000 to $5,000 a year, if not more, in in taxes for property tax. Then you have any upkeep. If you're buying a $400,000 house in this area, it's going to need a new roof, it's going to need furnace work, it's going to need new carpets, a new kitchen, a new bathroom. So take whatever house you are planning on buying and at least add another $100,000 on that. And then you have even from the interest from the mortgage. So houses are great and they do appreciate. And if you had a house in the last 5 years and now you know you've hit the gold mine because the bidding war is everywhere and supply and demand, you're sitting pretty. But if right now you're looking and you're watching this video right now and you're thinking, should I buy a house in this market? I don't know. And for myself personally, I'm looking at houses, and even though it's a dream, I think financially it still makes sense to look at the rental market and probably still rent, still take that little extra money I would have and invest it in the market, probably in a lot of more fixed income just because I've already have so much in and I want a little more stability, especially if I'm renting a property. It's a tough subject. I want everyone out there watching though, if somebody tells you buying is always better than renting, be skeptical. Guys, I can't count on one hand. So more than 5 times at least, the amount of times people tell me renting is always the wrong choice. We're millennials. Or you're a little older or you're a little younger, whoever is watching the video. But for millennials or people just coming of age, homeownership right now financially, it's overvalued. It's like an overvalued stock. The price to earnings for most houses in the market is historically high. So watch out. Interest rates are eventually going to go up. Supply is definitely going to go up. Demand is eventually going to go down. And during that time, then I think I might start looking. And I would say the same to you. Unless you're selling a house already and buying another house, then you're in a perfectly acceptable situation. If you're going from renting to buying, you're being undercut by the market and it's going to hurt. If you're going renting to renting, it's even going to hurt because you're jumping into a new lease. All I can say is crunch the numbers. Don't be afraid of renting. I'm going to tell you guys my search. If there's any news on what rental, or I'm going to crunch the numbers and I'm going to do my budget, I'm going to share it with you guys. I'm glad that you're along for the journey. Thanks for coming along. But it sucks. Not owning your own place, it's a hard thing to deal with. And I hope anybody out there watching this video who is deciding whether to rent or buy is in a great financial place. And for any of you that aren't in a financial place that you really want to be at, keep working at it. Keep saving your money. Keep looking forward towards the future. And just know that as long as you're diligent, anybody can do it. And I believe in you, and we're going to try to get rich together. Apartment, house, what am I going to do? We'll see what happens in the next 2 months. Until then, keep watching, hit that like and subscribe. Thanks for joining me today, and have a great day. Bye.